we go. We're going to talk about how you put this quilt together. This is actually really easy to do. So you should have downloaded this out of block 1. I believe we loaded this in the description tab on block 1, and it's all of your cutting guides and fabric requirements and all that kind of stuff. It printed just a smidge weird over here, so I'm going to tell you what this should be 2 columns, and somehow I don't know what happened. Something weird happened. So what it should look like is this. So cover strips, and those are the long skinny strips in here. Cover strips. They're all 1 inch wide. So you're going to cut a lot of 1 inch wide strips. You need 12 and a half inch wide strips. Their length by 1 inch. You need 4 6.5 by 1 inch. You need 2 62.5 by 1 inch. Obviously you have to piece those. 4 37.5 by 1 inch and 2 24.5 by 1 inch to put your quilt together. So in the front of what you would download, and this downloaded properly because I have what you would have downloaded, here's how you put your quilt together. So you see that's your center block. That's the biggest block we made, was block number C. And you'll see on the sides you had your 4 small blocks. Those are our 6 inch blocks. And then there's our long skinny blocks. So you're going to piece your 6.5 inch. Remember when it called for however many it called for, 4 6.5 inch strips. So you're going to piece these to these, so forth and so forth. So that goes to that. Then your sides go to there. That's 24.5 inch strips. You have those. And then this to this. And then you'll put this long strip to this and this long strip to this, so forth and so on. So build it, like it makes sense to build it. But how do you use these cover strips? Well, every time you sew them on, you're going to take 2 cover strips and sew them on. You're going to put 1 on the front of your quilt block, and you're going to put 1 on the back of your quilt block. So this is all I have going here, just 1 inch strip on the front and a 1 inch strip on the back. And I'm going to put my 1/4 inch foot back on, and I'm going to put my feed dogs back up. Oops. All right, and then all you do is stitch a 1/4 inch seam along it. Okay, and now I'm not going to do anything with the back. I'm just going to use the strip on the front. I'm going to take my next block that I want to join to it, and I will take my cover strip and line it up with it. And you may need to pin these because they're pretty close together. And I'm going to sew a 1/4 inch seam. Again, I'm on the top. I'm not doing anything with the bottom strip. I've left it folded under. And just as an FYI, these 2 blocks that I'm joining together do not get joined together in the quilt, so don't do this. I'm just showing you this as an example. Okay, now when I open that up, you can't feel any difference right here where this strip is, because the batting, because I did a 1/4 inch seam allowance on a 1 inch strip, so I have 1/2 inch up here and 1/2 inch underneath. So those are butted right up against one another. So it feels like it's just one piece of fabric. See there? So you won't feel that there's a gap in there once you get that put together. So you're going to join all of your pieces like this in rows or however you want to do that. And then when you get that done, you come to the back where you have this other cover stitch strip left. And you're going to turn under 1/4 inch, fold it over, and whip stitch that down. And that finishes your back side. So then it looks like you've got a strip on the back and a strip on the front, and you absolutely cannot feel that there's any gap there between those blocks. And that is how you do a quilt as you go, joining it with 1-inch strips. Obviously you would press this, I'm just finger pressing just to give you the idea how it's done, but that, my friends, is about as easy as you can get to finish this. And it makes it fun to do some of these complicated stitching blocks and then put them together and make a really neat quilt. So that's it. That's easy. It's easy, easy, easy. Now the strips that I read you for cutting your cover strips, it says from the top and the backing. So where it says the 12.5 by 12, wait a minute, 1-inch strips. The 12.5-inch strips, and it said you needed 12 of them. You actually need 24. So there's 12 for the top and 12 for the back. So remember that you're cutting from top and backing. So the number that it gives you is just for the top, not just for the whole quilts, the top and the backing. Okay, that's it. That's how you put it together. Give us a holler. Comment if you got a question, you need something else from us, but that is it. We'll see you next time with our next project. I think we'll make a table runner next time. It's smaller. See you then.